You're standing in the conference room. Your boss just asked you a question. A simple question. But your mind goes blank. Your heart pounds. Your palms sweat. The words that were so clear 5 minutes ago have vanished into thin air. You freeze. Again. Or maybe it's the argument with your partner. They say something that cuts deep, and instead of responding with clarity, you explode. Or worse, you shut down completely. Your emotions hijack your body, and the version of yourself you wanted to be disappears in an instant. This isn't weakness. This isn't lack of preparation. This is the modern epidemic nobody's talking about. The glass mind. Your mind has become fragile. Reactive. One harsh word, one unexpected moment, one surge of pressure, and it shatters into 1,000 pieces. You've built your entire identity on motivation, on feeling ready, on waiting for confidence to show up before you act. And that's exactly why you crumble when it matters most. Because confidence is a lie. Motivation is a drug. And the moment reality hits harder than your feelings can handle, you break. Let me tell you about Takeshi. 28 years old. Software engineer. Smart guy. Brilliant, actually. He could solve complex algorithms in his sleep, but put him in a room with his CEO, and he became a different person. Stuttering. Apologetic. Small. He told himself it was imposter syndrome. He read the books. He did the affirmations. I am confident. I am capable. I am enough. Every morning, the same ritual. And every time pressure arrived, the same result. Collapse. The problem wasn't his confidence. The problem was that he believed he needed confidence at all. One day, his mentor, an older Japanese consultant at his company, noticed his struggle. After a particularly brutal meeting where Takeshi had frozen again, the mentor pulled him aside. You know what your problem is? The mentor asked. You think you need to feel strong to be strong. You think you need to feel calm to act calm. This is why you fail. Takeshi didn't understand. Let me teach you something, the mentor continued. Something my grandfather taught me. Something the samurai lived by. Fudōshin. The immovable mind. The immovable mind. Not the confident mind. Not the motivated mind. The immovable mind. Here's what that means. Picture a mountain. Storms rage around it. Wind screams. Rain hammers. Lightning strikes. But the mountain doesn't move. It doesn't react. It doesn't panic. The chaos is external. The mountain remains. Now picture your mind as that mountain. Fudōshin isn't about feeling nothing. It's about being unmoved by what you feel. It's the difference between being in the storm and being the storm. The samurai understood something we've forgotten. Pressure doesn't break you because you're weak. Pressure breaks you because you're attached. Attached to looking good. Attached to winning. Attached to avoiding pain. Attached to the outcome. Every attachment is a chain. And the moment pressure pulls on those chains, you collapse. Fudōshin is the protocol to cut those chains. To stand in the fire without burning. To face chaos without flinching. Not because you're confident. Not because you're motivated. But because you've trained your mind to be immovable. The samurai didn't practice this for philosophy. They practiced it for survival. In battle, hesitation meant death. Emotional reaction meant death. Fear meant death. So they developed a system, a protocol, to ensure their minds remain steady regardless of external circumstances. And that protocol works just as powerfully today as it did 400 years ago. Here's how it works. 3 core principles. 3 non-negotiable truths that, when internalized, transform your mind from glass to steel. Principle 1, detachment from outcome. You care too much about winning. About being right. About looking good. And every time you care, you create a vulnerability. The samurai knew this. Before battle, they performed a ritual. They accepted death. Completely. Mentally, they were already dead. So there was nothing to lose. Nothing to fear. Nothing to protect. You need to do the same. Not with death, but with failure. Before the meeting, before the conversation, before the moment that scares you, accept the worst outcome. Fully. Don't fight it. Don't resist it. Accept it. I might fail. I might look stupid. I might lose. Say it. Mean it. When you accept the worst, it loses its power over you. Your mind becomes immovable because there's nothing left to move you. Principle 2, separation of thought and identity. Your thoughts are not you. Your emotions are not you. Fear arises, and you think, I am afraid. Anger arises, and you think, I am angry. Wrong. Fear is present. Anger is present. But you are the space in which they arise. The samurai practiced zazen, seated meditation, not to feel calm, but to observe their mind. To watch thoughts and emotions appear and disappear like clouds in the sky. They trained themselves to witness their inner chaos without becoming it. When Takeshi's mentor taught him this, everything changed. In the next high-pressure meeting, the fear showed up. His heart raced. His hands shook. But this time, he didn't identify with it. He observed it. Fear is here. But I am not fear. His voice didn't shake. His words didn't stumble. Because he had created distance between his feelings and his actions. The storm was internal, but he was the mountain. Principle 3, action without attachment. Most people wait to feel ready before they act. The samurai did the opposite. They acted regardless of feeling. Their sword cut through the enemy not when they felt confident, but because cutting was the appropriate action in that moment. You need to adopt the same mindset. Stop waiting for courage. Stop waiting for confidence. Stop waiting to feel ready. Act because action is required. Speak because speaking is necessary. Move because movement is the next step. Fudōshin is not about feeling fearless. It's about acting despite fear. The immovable mind doesn't mean no emotion. It means emotion doesn't dictate behavior. Takeshi began training. Not with swords or meditation cushions, but with daily pressure. Small moments. Everyday chaos. He stopped avoiding discomfort and started seeking it. His mentor gave him assignments. Simple but brutal. Next meeting, speak first. Don't prepare. Don't wait for the perfect words. Just speak. Takeshi's mind screamed resistance. Every fiber of his being wanted to plan, to rehearse, to feel ready. But he did it anyway. He spoke first. His words weren't perfect. His voice cracked. But he didn't collapse. He didn't freeze. He acted despite the fear. And in that action, something shifted. Because here's the truth nobody tells you. Confidence doesn't create action. Action creates confidence. You don't build an immovable mind by thinking about it. You build it by standing in the fire again and again until the fire no longer controls you. The second assignment was harder. Next time someone criticizes you, don't defend. Don't explain. Don't react. Just listen. Absorb. Respond with clarity, not emotion. This one broke him at first. Someone on his team questioned his code in a meeting. The old Takeshi would have either shut down or gotten defensive. But he had committed to the protocol. He felt the anger rise. The urge to justify. The need to be right. And he observed it. Let it be there. Didn't act on it. He paused. Breathed. Then responded. You're right. That section could be cleaner. I'll revise it. Simple. Clear. No attachment. No ego. Just appropriate action. His teammate was stunned. The room went quiet. Because nobody expects you to be immovable. They expect you to react, to defend, to break. When you don't, you shift the entire dynamic. Fudōshin isn't passive. It's not avoidance. It's not suppression. It's conscious, deliberate action from a place of inner stillness. The samurai called it moving Zen. The mind is still, but the body acts with precision. This is where most people misunderstand discipline. They think discipline is forcing yourself to do hard things. Wrong. Discipline is the natural result of an immovable mind. When your mind isn't pulled by fear, by comfort, by emotion, action becomes effortless. You don't need to force yourself to work out when you're not attached to laziness. You don't need to force yourself to speak up when you're not attached to approval. You don't need to force yourself to stay calm when you're not attached to being right. Fudōshin removes the internal conflict. And when the conflict is gone, discipline is no longer a battle. It's just what you do. Let's talk modern application. Because you're not a samurai. You're not facing life or death combat. But you are facing psychological warfare every single day. And most of you are losing. Application 1, arguments and conflict. Your partner says something that triggers you. The old you would react instantly. Anger, defensiveness, withdrawal. The new you, the one who's internalized Fudōshin, pauses. You feel the trigger. You observe it. You recognize the attachment. I'm attached to being understood. I'm attached to being right. Then you act from stillness. You respond instead of react. You speak truth instead of emotion. And the entire dynamic changes. Because when you're immovable, others can't manipulate you. They can't trigger you. They can't control you with words or emotions. Application 2, high-stakes situations. Job interview. Presentation. Important negotiation. The pressure is crushing. Your old glass mind would shatter. Heart racing, mind blanking, words fumbling. But you've trained. You've internalized the protocol. Before you walk in, you accept failure. Completely. I might not get this job. I might mess this up. And that's okay. The attachment to winning is severed. During the interview, your mind stays clear. Not because you feel confident, but because you're not attached to the outcome. Questions come. You answer. No overthinking. No second guessing. Just appropriate response to each moment. They ask a question you don't know. The old you would panic. The new you simply says, I don't know, but here's how I'd figure it out. No shame. No fear. Because you're not protecting an image. You're not defending an ego. You're just responding truthfully. This is power. Real power. Not the fake power of bravado or confidence. The deep power of being unmoved by circumstances. Application 3, daily chaos and unexpected crisis. Your project fails. Your plan falls apart. Someone betrays you. Life hits you with chaos. The glass mind shatters into despair, panic, rage. The immovable mind observes. This is happening. This is the reality. What's the appropriate action? No drama. No story. No victim mentality. Just assessment and response. The samurai had a saying, fall 7 times, stand up 8. But they didn't stand up with positive thinking. They stood up because falling and standing are both just movements. Neither defines you. Neither moves you. This is the level you're aiming for. Not happiness. Not confidence. Not motivation. Immovability. The deep, unshakable steadiness that remains regardless of external circumstances. Takeshi practiced for 6 months. 6 months of deliberately putting himself in uncomfortable situations. 6 months of observing his reactions without acting on them. 6 months of severing attachments one by one. And then something remarkable happened. He stopped trying. He stopped efforting. The immovable mind became his default state. Pressure arrived, and he didn't even notice. Not because he was numb, but because pressure is only pressure when you resist it. His career transformed. Not because he suddenly became smarter or more skilled, but because he stopped breaking under scrutiny. Meetings that used to terrify him became neutral events. Criticism that used to devastate him became useful feedback. Chaos that used to paralyze him became just another problem to solve. People started noticing. You've changed, they said. You're different. More confident. But Takeshi knew the truth. He wasn't more confident. He was less attached. And that made all the difference. Here's what you need to understand. Fudōshin isn't a technique. It's not a hack. It's not something you do once and forget. It's a protocol. A daily practice. A way of life. The samurai didn't become immovable by reading about it. They became immovable by training every single day. Meditation. Breath work. Deliberate exposure to discomfort. Constant observation of their mind. You need to do the same. Not because it's easy. Not because it feels good. But because the alternative is living your entire life as a reactive, fragile version of yourself. And that's not living. That's surviving. So let me give you the practical protocol. The step-by-step system to build Fudōshin in your own life. Step 1, morning mental preparation. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you start your day, sit in silence for 10 minutes. Not to feel calm. Not to clear your mind. But to observe it. Watch your thoughts arise. Watch your emotions surface. Don't judge them. Don't push them away. Just watch. This is the foundation. You're training your mind to separate from your thoughts. To create space between stimulus and response. The samurai called this polishing the mirror. You're cleaning the lens through which you see reality. Step 2, accept the worst. Before any high-pressure situation, before any difficult conversation, before any moment that scares you, mentally accept the worst outcome. Say it out loud if you need to. I might fail. I might be rejected. I might look stupid. And I accept that. This isn't pessimism. This is detachment. You're removing the chains that pressure uses to control you. When you've already accepted the worst, there's nothing left to fear. Step 3, seek discomfort daily. You can't build an immovable mind in comfort. You build it in chaos. So every single day, Deliberately do something uncomfortable. Have the hard conversation. Take the cold shower. Speak up in the meeting. Make the call you've been avoiding. Each time you act despite discomfort, you reinforce the neural pathway of immovability. You teach your brain that emotions don't dictate behavior. That fear doesn't stop action. That you are not your feelings. Step 4. Observe, don't react. Throughout your day, when emotions arise, pause. Just for a moment. Observe what you're feeling. Name it. Anger is here. Fear is here. Anxiety is here. Then ask yourself, what's the appropriate action? Not the emotional action. The appropriate action. This single practice will transform your life. Because most suffering comes from emotional reaction, not from circumstances themselves. When you stop reacting and start responding, everything changes. Step 5. End-of-day reflection. Every evening, review your day. Where did you remain immovable? Where did you break? No judgment. Just observation. The samurai kept journals documenting their mental state in different situations. They studied their weaknesses not to feel bad, but to eliminate vulnerabilities. Do the same. Write down the moments you froze. The moments you reacted. The moments you let emotion control you. Then write what you'll do differently tomorrow. This is how you evolve from glass mind to immovable mind. Now, let's address the resistance you're feeling right now. Because part of you is thinking, this sounds cold. This sounds like I have to suppress my emotions. Like I have to become a robot. Wrong. Completely wrong. Fudōshin isn't suppression. It's mastery. The samurai felt fear. They felt anger. They felt joy and sorrow. But they weren't controlled by those feelings. They felt everything and were moved by nothing. That's what you're building. Not numbness. Not detachment from life. But freedom from being jerked around by your emotions like a puppet. You're cutting the strings so you can move with intention instead of reaction. And here's the paradox. When you stop being controlled by emotions, you actually feel them more deeply. Because you're not afraid of them anymore. You're not resisting them. You're allowing them to exist while you remain steady. Takeshi discovered this in his personal life. His relationship with his girlfriend had always been turbulent. He'd get triggered, she'd get triggered, and they'd spiral into arguments that lasted for days. After 6 months of Fudōshin training, everything shifted. She said something that would normally set him off. He felt the anger. Fully. But he didn't become it. He paused. Observed. Then spoke from clarity instead of rage. What you just said hurt me. Can we talk about why you said it? Simple. Direct. No attack. No defense. Just truth. And she responded differently too. Because when you don't attack, others don't defend. When you remain immovable, you create space for real communication. This is the power of the protocol. It doesn't just change how you handle pressure. It changes your entire life. Your relationships deepen. Your work improves. Your inner peace becomes unshakable. Not because life gets easier, but because you become immovable. The modern world is designed to break you. To keep you reactive, distracted, fragile. Social media wants you triggered. News wants you afraid. Culture wants you insecure. They profit from your glass mind. Fudōshin is rebellion. It's reclaiming your mind from the chaos. It's building an inner fortress that nothing can penetrate. Not criticism. Not failure. Not betrayal. Not loss. The samurai knew that external circumstances are uncontrollable. Enemies attack. Weather changes. Fate strikes. But the mind can be trained. The mind can become immovable. And when your mind is immovable, you become unstoppable. So here's your choice. You can continue living with a glass mind. Breaking under pressure. Controlled by emotion. Reactive and fragile. Or you can commit to the protocol. Train daily. Build Fudōshin. Become immovable. The storm will come. It always does. The question is, will you be the mountain or the debris blown by the wind? Start today. Sit in silence. Accept the worst. Seek discomfort. Observe your mind. Respond instead of react. Every single day. No excuses. No exceptions. Because chaos is external. But peace, real peace, the kind that can't be shaken, that's internal. And it's built one immovable moment at a time. The protocol is yours. The choice is yours. Now move.